Hello, my name is Jianglin Shuang. Next, I will make a presentation on the question calculating the expected return of an international bond investment. Let's begin. I will divide the factors affecting the expected returns of an international bond investment into the following four parts. And now I will explain each of these four factors separately. The first part has four influencing factors: coupon rate, face value, maturity date, and credit quality. The first, coupon rate, which means the fixed ratio of the annual interest paid by the bond issue to the bond's face value. The coupon rate directly determines the regular interest income that investors can obtain. And here is the example. Due to its higher coupon rate, Bond B offers higher interest income to investors and thus has a relatively more attractive expected return. The second, face value, the principal amount that the bond issue is obligated to pay to the investor upon the bond's maturity is agreed. When the bond matures, the bond issue will return to the principal to the investor according to this amount. And here is an example. Buying a bond with a face value of $1,000 at 1950, when it matures, $1,000 is obtained and the capital gain is $50. Second, maturity date. Generally speaking, the longer the term, the more sensitive the bond price is to interest rate changes and the higher the risk. For example, in a market environment where interest rates are declining, the price increase of a 20-year bond may be greater than that of a 5-year bond. If an investor sells before maturity, the long-term bond can obtain a higher return. The next, credit quality. Bonds with high credit rating has low default risks. Investors demand a lower risk premium. The yields are relatively low. For example, the yield of an AAA-rated bond may be 3%, while the yield of a BBB-rated bond may be 5% due to slightly higher credit risk. The second part has three influencing factors: interest rate environment, inflation rate, and economic growth. The first, interest rate environment, which refers to the overall level and the changing trade of various interest rates in the financial market of the issue country. When the market interest rate rises, newly issued bonds will offer higher coupon rates to attract investors. For example, the central bank of a certain country raise interest rates and the market interest rate rise from 3% to 4%. If it is sold at this time, the return will be lower than expected at the time of purchase. The second, inflation rate, which means the rate at which prices generally and continually rise in a country over a certain period. Higher inflation will cause the actual purchasing power of the bond's future interest and the principal to decline. The real return will be reduced. For example, the coupon rate of the bond is 5%, when the reinflation rate rises from 2% to 4%, the actual return drops from 3% to 1%. The third, economic growth. When economic growth strongly, the profitability of enterprises increase. The debt repayment ability of insurers is enhanced. The default risk of bonds is reduced. The confidence of investors is strengthened and the bond price may rise, leading to an increase of in expected return. Part 3 has two influencing factors: political stability and regulatory changes. The first, political stability. Political stability is of crucial importance for bond investment. In a politically stable country, the economic development environment is favorable and the default risk of bonds is low. Investors demand a low-risk performance, and the expected return of bonds is relatively stable. Next, regulatory changes refers to the adjustments and changes made by the government and issuing country to the financial market. Changes in tax policy, such as an increase in bond interest taxes, will indirectly reduce the actual returns of investors. And Part 4 has two influencing factors: currency fluctuations and hedging costs. The first, currency fluctuations. If the bond being invested in is denominated in a foreign currency, fluctuations in the exchange rate between the investor's home currency and the currency in which the bond is denominated will affect the investment return. And here is an example. And the second, hedging cost, which means expense incurred by investors which use financial instruments to conduct hedging options to reduce risks, such as currency fluctuations. Investors through forward contracts, options, and other tools for hedging, although can lock in exchange rate and other risks. And here is an example. In conclusion, the expected return of the international bond investment is affected by multiple factors, including interest rates, exchange rates, inflation, credit ratings, political and economic stabilities, and so on. When making international bond investors need to closely monitor changes in these factors. And finally, investors should combine their own risk tolerance and investment goals to formulate a reasonable investment strategy, diversity the investment portfolio, and avoid concentrating funds in a single country or region. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Bye-bye.